coming up on OU Nightly. Protests today outside the National Weather Center after layoffs. What demonstrators are saying. The controversial Rock Creek Entertainment District is moving forward. Why some feel like their voices are not being heard.
Storm chances are on the way, bringing rain and snow for most of the state. I'll have the details coming up. This is OU Nightly.
Protests gathered at the National Weather Center in Norman this afternoon after the layoffs within the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Abigail Franklin.
And I'm Julia Roberts. These layoffs comes as a result of the Department of Government Efficiencies cuts. OU Nightly reporter Ethan Davis was there during the protest.
Last week, NOAA experienced layoffs among hundreds of their employees, and among those that were laid off were employees that worked inside of the National Weather Center in Norman. Many within the National Weather Center say that they were already understaffed prior to these cuts, and has only made the situation worse.
Behind me, demonstrators have gathered at the National Weather Center voicing their concerns over federal layoffs at NOAA following budget cuts from the Department of Government Efficiency. Protesters say these cuts could impact vital weather research and forecasting. I spoke with one demonstrator who says this issue goes beyond just jobs. It's about public safety.
I live in Norman. I need to know that highly experienced people are watching the weather, sending out the warnings. I have sat in my tornado shelter and listened to my street corner be read off.
While the government is trying to be more efficient, forecasters are trying to save lives, and some think people on Capitol Hill are getting in the way.
We need public officials who are willing to take the time to really look at what we're doing, and I'm all for efficiency, and I'm all for doing things the right way. But what's happening right now is not efficiency.
Though the protests have ended for now, the push for efficiency continues, leaving those who forecast our weather to wonder if their warnings will be heard in time. From the National Weather Center in Norman, Ethan Davis, OU Nightly.
Congressman Tom Cole said in a statement today that after working with DOGE, the National Weather Center in Norman, along with the Social Security Administration office in Lawton and Indian Health Services in Oklahoma City will not be terminated, saying these places are vital to Oklahomans. Now turning to the forecast here in Oklahoma, another roller coaster from cold weather to today's warm. But hey, it's a great day to be outside.
It absolutely is. I know I enjoyed the weather, or the temperatures being up into the 70s again. OU Nightly meteorologist Scotty Allen, you're here in studio today, taking a look at that forecast. Scotty, I have a feeling this is not going to last though.
Yeah, that's right. It's a beautiful day outside as we are preparing for that softball game over there at Love's Field. We've got beautiful temperatures, 69 degrees outside right now. We got dew points feeling pretty low, so it's a little dry out there. We got breezy conditions, but you see this cold air is coming down, and it's going to be bringing the rain and some stormy conditions tomorrow with those rain showers. So we're going to look at this fire risk. That cold air is going to be returning, and it's going to be a rainy Saturday coming tomorrow. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Scotty. Now, authorities have found a 2-year-old from Oklahoma who was missing for almost a month. The toddler had been missing since February 8th when the mother, Caitlin Thornton, failed to show up for a custody court day. He was recovered while crossing into the United States from Mexico with his mother at 10:30 this morning.
The Cleveland County Commissioners met this morning to approve the contract to move forward with the development of the controversial Rock Creek Entertainment District just north of University North Park. OU Nightly reporter Amy Acevedo has the story.
It doesn't feel like democracy was very well represented here today.
It only took 2.5 minutes for Cleveland County officials to vote yes to move forward with the development of the University North Park District after a judge denied the motion to move it to a public vote. These county officials believe this will help improve the city of Norman.
Yeah, there's certainly folks in the community that don't want any sort of development, no development in Norman, and that's just not the county commissioners' view. They think if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not doing things that grow the tax base, benefit the quality of life, then you're not serving your citizens well.
But some members of the community don't feel fully represented by their county officials.
there should have been a lot more discussed on an issue this large. It's kind of an embarrassment almost for me to sit down at the county courthouse and watch a meeting that was 2 minutes long. It doesn't make me feel good about the process, about any process that goes on here now.
After today's vote, it is up to the county to move forward with the district's development. However, those who oppose it aren't backing down easily.
We're appealing the decision next week, and I've let the commissioners here know that, and they're still continuing to move forward with this. So it's kind of like a daytime drama just for them, right? Because whenever our appeal goes through and we win, none of this matters.
Reporting in Norman, Amy Acevedo, OU Nightly.
The creators of the petition, along with their attorneys, still plan to appeal the judge's decision that their petition was invalid. Well, a college student in Louisiana is now facing charges of manslaughter and felony criminal hazing. Find out what led up to the charges and how a fraternity could face penalties.
Plus, looking to make a deal, President Trump is still working with Russia and Ukraine to end the conflict. What the president is saying is an easier path for doing so. When OU Nightly continues. President Trump with comments today on the Ukraine and Russia conflict. Reagan Garvin has that into the rest of today's national headlines from the News Center.
Julia, President Trump's latest effort to end the war in Ukraine, tariffs on Russia. This comes after the president faced criticism for how he handled an Oval Office meeting with the Ukrainian President Zelensky and his administration's contention Ukraine started the war, not Russia. Meanwhile, Russia continues its attacks on Ukraine, including an aerial attack last night, just days after the U.S. suspended military aid and intelligence to Ukraine. And an action by a federal judge today will allow Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency to keep accessing Americans' sensitive personal information, specifically information found in the U.S. Treasury. The judge said concerns are understandable and no doubt widely shared, but found that right now, DOJ is not an immediate risk for lasting danger. And Mexican officials will meet with U.S. trade officials to discuss the proposed tariff on steel and aluminum imports. A 4-week pause is temporarily protecting many Mexican exports to the U.S., but President Trump says starting 5 days from now, a 25% tariff will be imposed on Mexican steel and aluminum. The Mexican economy minister says the meeting is to clarify what is being proposed. In New Mexico, officials have announced actor Gene Hackman and his wife's causes of death. An autopsy determined the star died of heart disease and his wife died several days before him of hantavirus. Ladies.
All right, thanks, Reagan. Police in Baton Rouge have made an arrest following the death of a 20-year-old during a hazing ritual at Southern University. Police say Caleb Wilson collapsed after being punched multiple times in the chest. Caleb McCrae, a member of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, was arrested Thursday evening. He is facing charges of manslaughter and felony criminal hazing. University President Dennis Shields says that this chapter has been ordered to cease all activities, and a Louisiana attorney says that the fraternity could face civil penalties.
As we all prepare for the summer months, so is Norman Food and Shelter. OU Nightly's Victoria Anderson talked to them about a new project to help provide shade and support brick by brick.
In Norman, there are a lot of things said about the unhoused population, mostly unkind things. But April Doshier is trying to change that.
You can do it, and you are loved, and I believe in you.
Brick by brick.
So we'll take out all this dirt and put in concrete and the paved bricks.
A new project from Norman Food and Shelter is paving a path for the community not only to support the shelter, but leave a lasting legacy.
Some people are honoring friends or people who have been homeless, but some of the messages are just of encouragement.
The project is called Pave the Way Home and hopes to create a new outdoor area for visitors with engraved bricks from donors.
We can seat about 100 people inside, but on any given day we have closer to 300 people.
With the city's unhoused population only increasing in size, the shelter is hoping to stay ahead of the curve and create more space.
Many folks do like to stay outside, or if they have animals or bicycles they want to keep an eye on, they might prefer to stay outside.
Paving a place for new beginnings.
And so having that visible support, I think, is really special for our guests to be able to see.
Reporting in Norman, Victoria Anderson, OU Nightly.
You can check out the Norman Food and Shelter site to purchase a brick. Prices start at just $100. Dancing for a cause, that's exactly what students here on campus are doing to make a difference for kids' health and future.
That's right. Find out how moving to the music will help raise funds for life-saving medical research when OU Nightly continues.
And we've got rain showers on the way. I'll have the timing of when we should expect those rain showers tomorrow coming up. Welcome back to OU Nightly. We have a beautiful day out here as we are preparing for that softball game and baseball game happening later tonight. And we've got gusty conditions, as you see what those flags are blowing. But it was a warm day after we've had this little bit of a cold spell. But it's a sunny skies, 69 degrees out there. It was in the 70s earlier there today. But we got dew points are dry, and that's bringing us a little bit of this fire risk. And as we look here with the fire weather risk, we've got Friday, elevated fire risk, and then it's going to be decreasing as we got a low pressure system coming in, bringing some rain, and then that fire risk will be elevating as those winds will be coming through and more dry air will be coming through. But for the risk for today, we have these gusty winds as this low pressure system is approaching, and we've got 20-mile-per-hour winds for most of the state of those gusts, and then pairing those with our dew points. We're very dry right now. We got dew points in the 30s, so that means that as we have that relative humidity, the amount of moisture, there's just very little moisture out there, so that's what's bringing these dry conditions and that fire risk. But as we look ahead for these high temperatures with the low pressure system that's coming through, we're going to be cooling down tomorrow, and then we're going to be warming back up after those rain showers are coming through. So with that timing of when are we going to be looking at these rain showers coming through. So it's going to be early tomorrow morning. These rain showers are going to be coming through, and they're going to be lasting for most of the day. But we'll be looking closely at these temperatures as there will be some spotty snow showers lingering in with this low pressure system as we got 36 degrees here in Norman. It's going to be very close to that rain-snow line. It's not going to be enough to be accumulating snow, but we're going to be having definitely maybe possible flurries with this system as it comes through, as we go through, and then it will be leaving early Sunday morning. And then so with the snow chances for accumulating snow, very low chances out there in western Oklahoma for accumulation snow, so snow greater than an inch or so. So maybe just where we're going to be looking for the Oklahoma City metro of looking around at dusting, a little bit of snow dusting and snow flurries. So as we look for the 7-day, we're going to be cooling down as the low pressure system comes through and then bringing all that rain. And then we're going to be springing forward. So make sure to set your clock Saturday night as we go into Sunday. So we're going to be having a lot more sunshine. And with that sunshine, we're going to be having 70s through most of the week. And it's going to be a beautiful week ahead going on to next week.
All right, thanks, Scotty. Well, it's getting groovy on campus. OU Dance Marathon starts tomorrow to raise money for life-saving medical research for kids.
Supporting the children of Oklahoma, those participating in the fundraiser will be dancing for hours.
Money will go towards the Children's Health Foundation and towards the Children Miracle Network hospitals.
If you're interested, there is still a few hours left to register for the event. Moving into the world of sports, will OU be dancing their way into March Madness?
Sports will update you on both Sooner basketball teams' hopes, and we'll have a report on OU's new starting quarterback. Big Friday Sports is next.
Hello, I'm Darvin McCormick. That's Hallie McPherson, and it's time for some Big Friday sports.
And our Abby Williams went by OU football's first spring practice and introduces you to the Sooners' new starting quarterback, John Mateer.
Oklahoma football fans know good quarterbacks all too well. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and Jalen Hurts really spoiled this fan base for a few years, but recently QB controversy has plagued the program. Now, John Mateer has yet to suit up in the crimson and cream, but he already has some great things to say about Norman.
It's all pretty surreal. I mean, I'm a quarterback of Oklahoma Sooners, it's wild, but I'm here and I feel blessed to do it, and I think it's just a privilege and the opportunity to be here and work as hard as I can with all the resources I have and the great teammates I have around me to just put my best performance on the field.
and he's pretty confident in his new role as a Sooner.
I mean, I'll be honest, I used to struggle with the word fun on the field because if I'm not winning, like, it's not fun if you're not winning. We had a lot of success this past year, so it was fun. People say I have swag. I mean, you should play football. I have the ball in my hand every play. I mean, I get the opportunity to do something with it, and cameras on me all the time, so I guess I have swag. Some people say I have toughness. I just feel like I have an obligation to give everything I have for my teammates.
Luckily for his teammates, Mateer has no problem leading the Sooners offense.
Some of the stuff I'm just winging it, but I mean, the leadership is something that I was gifted with, and then just building relationships with people and showing my teammates that I really care about them. I want them to succeed.
Now, there isn't a spring game this year to watch Mateer, but instead a brand new Crimson Combine built to showcase players' skills on April 12th. Reporting from Owen Field, Abby Williams, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Abby. OU women's basketball team scratched the Cats today and will now move on in the SEC tournament. Reagan Beers led the Sooner win with 20 points, taking down 4th seed Kentucky in a tight game of 69-65 and extending their win streak to 9. The Sooners' next matchup is number 1 seed and reigning champs South Carolina in the semifinals. Tip-off is tomorrow at 3:30.
Be interesting. Well, with the regular season over, OU men's basketball is uncertain if they'll go dancing. Aiden Tyler has more on the Sooners' plans for the rest of March.
Well, according to ESPN's Joe Lenardi, the OU men's basketball team is the last team out of the NCAA tournament. So they head into their last regular season game. It's a big one down in Austin against Texas. And OU head men's basketball coach Porter Mosier believes his team has grown a lot and can survive being on the bubble.
We had that little crunch in the middle, that, Auburn, Florida, Alabama, and then you get a little chink in, a crack in that armor with your resiliency. Everyone in gym class growing up played a tug of war, and when one team's pulling, then all of a sudden the other one's in the flag is going back and forth, and you got to have that. You got to have that resistance pullback when the other team's pulling, and we have that. We've regained that resistance, that persistence when things don't go our way.
And the Sooners have some stairs to climb as they haven't beaten the Longhorns in over 1,500 days and have never done so in the Porter Mosier era. And with the Longhorns just below the Sooners on the bubble, it really feels like a win and you're in scenario. Hallie, Darby, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Aiden. Now taking it a couple basketball seasons back, I had the chance to talk with former OU sharpshooter Kay Davis about his journey from Norman to overseas and back. Elk City native Kay Davis has been on quite the basketball adventure in his life. From Oklahoma to overseas, the sharpshooter has always had his eye on the rim, but it started with his eyes on OU.
Getting recruited there was fantastic. I'd received some letters from some other, prominent universities in the area, but I was kind of really hoping and waiting on the Sooners to come through, and Jeff Capel, his second year, reached out to me, and of course he'd been recruiting Blake pretty heavily.
Davis says it was a dream come true to play for his home state, but even more goals were achieved in March, where all the madness brought his favorite memories.
We made it through to the Sweet 16, we played Syracuse, and then ended up running against that year's national champion, North Carolina, and just to be able to be a part of that and watch great basketball was a joy.
The former Sooners career didn't end there, but instead took his talents overseas and became a professional basketball player.
My first 3 years I was in Macedonia. We played in the local national league there, Adriatic League, and then Europe Cup, where we got to travel to several different places. Played in Greece for one season, then I went from there to Finland. Really, really cold, but they play basketball up there. From Finland to Italy. We went from there to Cyprus in the Middle East. And then I went to Belgium where I tore my ACL. Came back, rehabbed, and went to Malaysia, my final season of playing basketball.
And his love for basketball didn't end there. Kay Davis then became a graduate assistant for OU, and then after 2 years became a boys basketball coach for Cassidy High School. But his Sooner mentality remains.
I've had to tame a little bit of my competitiveness in certain ways, right? Had to have a little bit more of a reserve on the sideline as a coach. I definitely would love to still be playing, But every now and then I'll get out here with the boys and my body reminds me like you're the old man now, and so how quickly that changes in the course of just a few years. But yeah, still have the want to, still have the fight, you know, at least in the mentality of things. And so
I'm obviously no baller and missed my shot, but Cade Davis definitely didn't miss his shot at shaping the future of the game, trading the basketball in for a clipboard, and now coaching here at Cassidy High School.
just want to pour into whoever will listen about the knowledge I've picked up overseas and throughout my wonderful coaches that I've had coaching me over the course of my lifetime.
Great story, Hallie. Well, can a group of Sooner seniors remain undefeated at home tonight?
And Pressure Mix Diamonds will tell you what type of pressure is hitting the field here in Norman after this. When it rains, it pours on the Diamond Sports in Norman, and OU baseball's game will continue as scheduled tonight against Sam Houston, while they will double up their games on Sunday due to Saturday's weather.
And Sooner softball has the same schedule as baseball, but they'll begin their game tonight at 6:30, and their Sunday slate begins at 1:30. With more on what to expect at either ballpark is OU Nightly's Scotty Allen.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a beautiful night for baseball. It's going to be 66 degrees at first pitch for both baseball and softball. Make sure to go out there. And it's a bit gusty, so maybe those balls will be going out of the ballpark. And then Sunday when they return, it will be 50, so it's going to be a bit colder. Ladies, back to you.
Thank you, Scotty. Well, the final salute comes for 4 seniors on OU women's gymnastics when they take on Michigan tonight at 7:15. The seniors Jordan Bowers, Audrey Davis, Danae Fletcher, and Danielle Sievers have 138 career wins. Wow, and are undefeated at home. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Darby McCormick.
And I'm Hallie McPherson. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.